Good morning. Welcome back. We're going to take our next exploration in the yamas. Yesterday, I began our discussion on the yama called Ksama, K-S-A-M-A, Ksama, which means, in its classical translation, it means forbearance or forgiveness, or you could refer to it as a resilience. The technical definition for resilience in Wikipedia, at least 15 years ago when I was writing my book, the definition was that which can be bent from its original shape and then returned to that shape. So if you had a physio ball and you squished it down and then it was able to expand again to its shape, that would be one way to define resilience, that we can be bent, but we can return to our original state. I'm not using that definition myself so much right now because if we don't know our original state, our original nature, some of us think that our life is going on and we're supposed to be like this, and then life bends us and we want to come back to this, or life causes us to have a curve and we want to get back to what we think of as us. So if people don't know their inner nature, if they don't know their inner essence, how will they come back to that which we could call resilience? I also want to add to the definition of resilience that it's requiring a flexibility and an adaptability, that our resilience is where we sense whatever is coming, that we're going to be able to be present with it. We're going to be able to be there to bring our intelligence and our care and our personhood, the integrated version of ourselves. In other words, our integrity is going to be on board when we're experiencing resilience, when we're cultivating resilience. So those are just some thoughts that I've been having about the nature of resilience, because it was previously defined as when you're bent, you get to return. But what are we returning? Because sometimes life, instead of returning to this, is also expanding us. So that quality of flexibility, adaptability, integrity, and expansion, I put all of that into how I see resilience. We're talking a lot about resilience in the mental health field, also in the medical health field since the pandemic. What does it mean to be resilient? And are people misinterpreting that as I'm resilient if I can kind of just keep going as the punches are coming at me? That would be one way people look at resilience. But I'd like us to explore it more as that internal sense that we can adapt, we have a certain flexibility, we have a confidence in our inner integrity, that when life is bringing something that bends us or shapes us, that we're going to be able to respond from integrity, from that divine essence, that inner essence. So in this regard, Ksama is also a translation from Sanskrit to English would be the word earth. And I spoke about that yesterday, that one Sanskrit word can mean so many things. So it can also mean earth, where I was speaking yesterday that the earth is essentially having to adapt to our inhabitation here, our species being here on the planet. She's adapting, responding, and reacting to what we have been doing as a species, what we have done to influence the climate. So there's a responsibility inherent in us to reconnect to our inner nature, but also to nature, to the ecology, and to the earth. So let's keep that in our awareness this morning. You can rest your hands in your lap and please close your eyes. Resilience is also, let me just add another note, it's going to include vulnerability. There is a necessary vulnerability in becoming a person who is more resilient. This vulnerability to feel and be porous with life. So we aren't going to define resilience as anything having to do with hardening or just sort of pushing through or carrying the burden and somehow being heroic about it. Raise your hands to your heart. And this morning we'll chant Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu. Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu. Savidyam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavai Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavai Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart and interlace your fingers and press the heels of the hands down, forward, and up. When you raise up, lengthen up tall, you could imagine yourself as a bamboo, one stalk of bamboo. And as you exhale, side bend to your right. Breathe in. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, lengthen up. Equally root down into your hips. Keep your legs stable as you exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, push out. Clasp your hands at the small of your back Inhale, roll the shoulders back and sweep the arms back also. Squeeze them towards the wall behind you. Gently bow your head so your chin comes down towards your throat. We could consider that the nature of resilience is unctuous, like the dosha of Kapha, the Kapha dosha. We're in Kapha season now. It's arrived. The daffodils have bloomed. The Daphne Adora has bloomed. The hellebores are blooming. So in this sense of the Kapha dosha, we want to have things feel unctuous and fluid, resilient, porous. With your next inhale, release the clasp of your hands and raise your arms up, and please look up. And then exhale, hands down to the heart. Place your hands out over your knees. With your inhale, slide your internal gaze to the right. Exhale to the left. Inhale up, eyebrows, over to the right and down. Exhale, gazing down behind your cheekbones. Make a circle over to the left. And then come back to center. Inhale, glide your gaze to the left. Exhale, right. Inhale up and over like a half circle. Exhale down behind the cheekbones and over to the right. Inhale to center. Okay, now tip your right ear towards your right shoulder and gaze with your eyes open down towards the right shoulder. You're not actually going to turn your head, just turn your open gaze down towards the right shoulder. And close your eyes, gaze towards the left shoulder. Open your eyes, gaze to the right, down at the right shoulder. Close the eyes, gaze at your left shoulder. Inhale up the center. Relax your eyes and your mind and your breath. Tip your left ear towards your left shoulder. Keep the hands taut out over the knees so you can feel maybe the scalenes or the upper trapezius. Eyes open, gaze at the left shoulder or in that direction. Exhale, close your eyes, gaze towards the right shoulder. Inhale, open your eyes, gaze to the left. Exhale, close your eyes, gaze towards the right shoulder. Inhale up to center. And then exhale, relax your hands to where you like them to be for meditation. And you could just ask yourself, maybe life has recently been bending you. Do you feel like you're coming back to your essential nature with just a few minutes of deliberate practice? Please bring your right knee up to your chest, stretch the left leg out straight. So it's called Marityasana, one version of Marityasana. Clasp your hands around your right shin and then hold that firmly near to the base of the shin. Straighten your arms, reach up and lift up, open your throat. You can think of it not just as a knee to chest position, but you're stretching the neck, the throat, and the front line of the body. And then exhale, bring your chin to neutral so your head is going to be level. Wrap your left hand around your right shin and walk your right hand to the right. Please twist and look over your right shoulder with your eyes closed. On the exhale, turn your internal gaze a little farther to the right. Inhale, relax your eyes. Keep the twist. And then exhale, turn your inner gaze to the right a little farther again. Inhale, relax your gaze, keep the twist. And exhale, rotate your eyes to the right. And then come around to center. Please bring the left knee up and the right leg out. Interlace your fingers, change the clasp of your hand. So if you normally hold like this, shift it by 1 digit. Hold the base of the shin or the top of the ankle and inhale to pull up. And let that be taut. So you can even press the left shin into your hands. You might also raise your chin, not just lifting the head, but take the lower jaw forward of the upper jaw. And then bring your head to level. Wrap your right hand around your left shin. Lift up and rotate to your left. Close your eyes, and as you exhale, gaze to your left farther than your nose can go. Inhale, relax your gaze, but keep the twist. Exhale, gaze left again. Inhale, release, and one more time, we're going to exhale the gaze to the left. With this inhale, release your gaze and your pose, come around to face forward. So we're going to work on opening through this region of the body today, working in the upper shoulders, chest, and heart. And so let's come over now to table pose with 2 blocks. We can put the blankets aside. We were working on this movement of the head and neck last week, where you place your gaze influences certain aspects of your neurology, but it's also going to influence your musculoskeletal body. So I'd like you to inhale to cat pose, as we often do. And then exhale, cow pose. Inhale, gaze to your left. Exhale, bring the chin forward to cow pose. Inhale, gaze right. Exhale, bring the chin forward, cow pose. Inhale to cat pose. Exhale, child's pose, look under your left armpit. Inhale, cat pose. Exhale, child's pose, look under your right armpit. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow pose. Inhale, raise your right arm forward. Exhale, reach back to child's pose, reach the right arm back and the left arm stays forward. Bow your head. Inhale, reach forward, cow pose, lift your right arm. And exhale, place the right hand and come into cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. This time raise your left arm forward and inhale, Exhale, glide back. Take the left arm back behind you and bow your head lower than your right arm. Inhale, reach forward, raise your left arm, open your throat. Exhale, press your left hand down, come to cat pose. Inhale, heart forward, cow pose. And exhale, reach back to child's pose. Let the head bow lower than the upper arms on purpose. And then come forward like we did yesterday. Bring your elbows to the center of the blocks. So if you place the palms face up, it's going to make more sense as you place the elbows. Put them in the middle of the blocks, please. And then put the palms together and press your fingers and thumbs into one another so that the heels of the hands are separated and the forearms are closer to parallel rather than being in like a triangle, more like a parallelogram. And then reach your hips back, partway towards child's pose. And let's bring this prayerful position with the hands up behind the head. Now, as you're gliding back like this, thoughtfully release the weight of your head while still keeping a little lift at the base of the skull. So you lower the head down, but then think of the very base of the skull and make a tiny lift right there. You should sense there's some tone in the throat. Look under your right armpit. And then under the left, you're actually turning your head, not just the eyes. And then rotate to the right again. And rotate to the left. Return to center. And then inhale, pull forward to Sphinx pose. So you've got the forearms on the blocks. Bring your hips forward. Lift your heart, raise up, set the shoulders back. And energize the legs so the whole front line of the body gets to open here. Lift your heart, your collarbones, your throat, and your chin. Press the elbows down so there's integrity in the entirety of the body. There's tone to the lower abdomen and to your legs, even your toes. And then inhale, look over the right shoulder. Exhale back to center, raise your throat and your chin. Inhale, look over the left shoulder. Exhale back to center, keeping the integrity of the whole body. Now curl your toes under and inhale to plank on the elbows. Your gaze can go down between the forearms towards the floor. And then lightly touch the knees down. And once more, reach back with your hips, keeping your elbows and your blocks stable. And then walk your knees forward towards your elbows and release. Come to Vajrasana for a few moments, just basic kneeling position. And check again and sense when you arrive, you feel like you're going deeper than your daily self, you know, what you might think of as your operational self, the one that operates your life. You have a sense of coming back to your essential self. Come up for surya namaskar. So sun salutations. Just a moment. Go ahead and place your block on either side of your feet. When you rise up to stand, bring your palms to your heart. Close the eyes for the moment. Lengthen the tailbone down so you have a sense of taking the hip bones up and some tone across the lower belly, like your seatbelt muscles, I like to call them. And then inhale, sweep the hands down, wide and up. And as you raise the arms, keep your head level, but raise your eyes. And then exhale, bow forward to Uttanasana and gaze under your cheekbones with the eyes closed. Inhale, glide forward, open your eyes, look towards something that you can return your gaze to. So like a dust bunny on the floor or a candle, whatever it might be. And then exhale, and as you bow towards the legs, look at the back edge of your mat and find something again that you can look at, that you can return your gaze to. Once more, inhale, glide forward, gazing at whatever you've chosen. And exhale, glide back, gazing at what you have chosen back there. And this time, see if you can move your eyes not between just the destinations, but all along the way smoothly. Smoothly move the eyes towards whatever is your object at the back of the mat. And then inhale one more time, going forward. Smooth gaze on the floor. And then let's take the left toes back and establish the base of your crescent lunge. Okay, inhale, rise up. Look up at your thumbs as they meet. Now exhale, trace a line on the ceiling, the wall, the floor, and down next to your right toes. Inhale, step backwards to dog pose. Gaze towards whatever you chose at the back of your mat. Exhale, plank pose. Move your gaze smoothly on the floor to the spot between your hands. Inhale, step into seal pose. Glide your gaze forward to what object you chose earlier. Then exhale, melt down to cobra. Keeping your gaze steady where it has that object, dust bunny or candle, whatever it is. And then inhale to go up, keeping your gaze consistent. Now raise your chin. And then exhale, plank. Place your gaze down between your hands and inhale back, downward dog pose, gazing at what's at the back of your mat. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale to rise. Trace a line on the wall, the ceiling, until you see your thumbs meeting. The thumbs meet. That's kind of like your near gaze. It's not farther than the thumbs, so the ceiling is a farther gaze. Now let's inhale, open the arms and begin tracing your gaze. Exhale, come down until your gaze is between your hands on the floor. Inhale, downward dog pose. Slide your gaze back on the floor to the space between your heels or whatever you're looking at the back of your mat. Inhale, slide your gaze along the floor to plank pose. Inhale, step through to seal pose. Slide your gaze along the floor to the place you were looking at before. Mine is a dust bunny. And then exhale, slide down and forward to cobra pose. Inhale, press down, rise up, seal pose. And now lift your chin. Stay for the next inhale. Exhale, trace your gaze on your way to plank pose. Inhale, trace the gaze on the floor as you go back to downward dog pose. And then exhale, one foot forward, second foot forward.
Uttanasana, gaze towards the back of your yoga mat. Inhale, trace the line on the floor.
The wall, the window, the ceiling. Find your thumbs. And exhale, come down to your fingertips with your gaze. Close the eyes. So we have this one line we've been working with. It's like a center line, a midline. Sometimes you call that the Madhyama Rekha, the midline of things. Okay. So let's inhale, hands down, palms open, raise up. Find your thumbs with your eyes. Exhale, trace the line as you're coming forward and down. Gaze at the back edge of your mat, whatever you're looking at back there. Inhale, glide forward, gaze forward. Exhale, gaze under your right armpit in Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Try to trace a smooth line between the 2 points. Exhale, gazing under the left armpit as you go. Inhale smoothly. Bring your gaze again forward. And exhale, take the left toes back, touch your left knee down. Inhale, rise up. Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, follow your right thumb. Inhale, raise up, following your thumb. Exhale, open and follow that midline again as you come down. You're going to gaze towards the floor between the 2 hands and your right foot. Inhale, come to the basic position of the lunge. And then exhale, pick up your right foot with your right knee up against the inner arm. Step to plank pose. Your gaze can be steady. Inhale, downward dog, gaze back behind your heels. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale to rise, Anjaneyasana. Find your thumbs. Exhale, open to your left with your gaze. Follow your left thumb. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale, follow the center line as you bring your gaze back down between your hands and your left foot. Inhale to the base of your crescent. And then exhale, pick up the left foot so your knee is against the inner left arm. Inhale, plank. And exhale, downward dog, shifting your gaze to the back of the mat again. Okay, exhale, plank pose. Inhale, seal pose. Gazing forward and down. Exhale, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, look up. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, plank pose. And inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, 1 foot forward, 2nd foot forward. Gaze towards the back edge of your yoga mat. Inhale, glide forward, smooth line on the floor. Exhale, gaze under the right armpit. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, gaze under the left armpit. Inhale, glide forward and rise up. And exhale, bring your gaze to your fingertips, Anjali Mudra. Now we're going to pick up some pieces from last week's practice and include those here. So inhale, hands down, turn your palms forward, rise up, find your gaze, meeting your thumbs. Exhale, trace the line on the ceiling, the wall, the floor, towards the back of your mat. Inhale, glide forward. Bend the knees, take the left toes straight back, put your gaze down between your hands and your right foot. And then inhale and straighten the right leg slowly. Pivot your left heel. Start rolling the left outer hip back so the right outer hip snugs towards the midline and the inner edge of the right leg should feel like it just got longer. And then inhale, follow your left thumb to open to triangle pose. And raise up with your left arm in such a way as you've begun the rotation from your pelvis, really from your feet, right? But then there's your pelvis, the inner belly, mid-torso, the heart, shoulders. Your eyes are not straining because you've turned through the whole spine and then include your head. And now see if you can follow your left thumb to inhale forward past your head and down until your gaze returns to the spot between your two hands and your front foot. And then bend your right knee and let's inhale, step backwards, downward dog pose. And exhale, left foot forward, gaze down between your feet, your left foot and your hands, excuse me. And then inhale to straighten your left leg slowly. Okay, now pivot your right heel without knocking your left hip to the left. In fact, tone your right outer hip and your left outer hip. So it should definitely not feel like your hips have sashayed to the left. And then follow your right thumb to triangle pose. Energize your legs. Rotate from the right outer hip down towards your right heel. And the left outer hip, you could think of the sitting bone kind of aiming towards your right heel as well. And turn through the inner belly, mid-torso, your heart, and then your shoulders and your head and your gaze. And now follow your right thumb. Come down slowly and your gaze will return to the spot between your two hands and your left foot. Bend the left knee and please step backwards, downward dog pose. Okay, exhale, plank pose. Inhale, bring the right knee up, turn your head to your right. Exhale, step under with your right foot, cross the mat. Inhale to open, raise your left thumb. Exhale, turn the left heel down. And then inhale, sweep your left arm past your left ear. You can keep the head more neutral with your gaze. Raise the upper inner left thigh. Press firmly into your right arm. Lengthen through your left arm into your left thumb. And then exhale and fold down. Put your gaze between your hands. Bring your left hand back to its block. There is a twist right here in the body. Let's inhale, return your right knee to your right arm. And exhale, step back to plank pose. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, left knee up, turn to your left with your head. Exhale, step under with the left leg. And then inhale to open, follow your right thumb. Exhale, take the right heel down. And then inhale your right arm, reach past your right ear. Keep the upper inner right thigh lifted. Left leg strong. And as you glide your right arm down, start looking down between where the two hands are going to be. And then inhale left knee to your left arm. And step back to plank. And downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Touch the knees down. Cross your ankles and reach back to this version of child's pose. We cross the ankles on purpose. Relax the weight of your head. Keep the arms outstretched. Come forward to table. Change the ankles. Reach back to child's pose. Come forward to table pose. And then shift to Vajrasana. When you come to Vajrasana, sit really still. And just notice the quality of the mind. Notice it moment to moment because it's going to be changing as you arrive back in Vajrasana. So you've been bent into a number of different shapes because it's a yoga practice. What is it like to come back and deeper than your operational self? You'll open your eyes when you're ready to. So I'd like to bring our attention to part of what we're doing here with moving the gaze like that is, of course, addressing the brain, the mind, and the body. But also you can imagine it, as we talked a lot about last summer in the summer immersion, we're moving our gaze also to have a sense of the surround that is also our responsibility, our duty. And we could imagine that that right now includes Ukraine, the people of Ukraine and Russia. We aren't here practicing in some sort of siloed experience or some sort of sterilized yogic experience. We're practicing so we can stay porous, awake, and aware. So as we're moving the gaze like that, some of you are going to find that it's challenging the flexibility of your neck or your shoulders. So let's experience that challenge also as an opportunity. You're getting some information that you're going to be able to then kind of make use of or monitor as we go forward, class to class or week to week. Let's take 2 blocks, please, to sit on, or you could use your roller if you have one to sit on. It's about the same height from the floor. Okay, and as you take a seat, bring the knees up to the chest. And let's reach between the knees. Bow your head. We were using the chair for this a couple days ago, or maybe yesterday even. We put the forehead on the edge of the chair. We're not going to use the chair this morning because it'll end up being in our way. You will soon see. But as you're coming forward like this in a forward bend, let's put the armpits around the inside of the knees as well as you can. Put the palms together like a prayer. And then press the upper arms against the shins. Your knees probably widened a little bit there. You may feel the back hemisphere of the body stretching. You might feel the inner thighs or the groin as well. Please raise up to sitting. Let's make the thoracic spine upright. Keep your feet and knees bent, but walk the feet out a short distance from your hips so it's going to be more stable. Let's take the right hand, turn your fingers to point backwards. Roll the right shoulder open. So that's really important that you're lengthening the side of the waist and you roll the shoulder back and open deliberately before you weight bear on it. And then press into your heels, roll the chest open, and the hips are trying to be level right through here. Raise your left thumb up. And then overhead. Both hips strong, so tone the butt muscles on the backside. For some of you, it might feel easier to look down over your right shoulder towards the floor. But if you're able to raise the chest and heart, look backwards towards your left thumb. And then follow your left thumb as you glide your arm across your face and lower your hips back to the 2 blocks. You know where they are. Reach your thumb forward. Reach yourself forward. The other, so we're gonna do the other side, but let me turn my camera off and then turn it back on. It got overheated. Now it's getting overheated, but that is what happened. So, okay, while you're sitting upright, let's take the left hand back, turn your fingers to point backwards, roll the left shoulder open. Just find the shoulder blade against the upper back. And then put your body weight into your left arm, press into your heels, raise your hips up, sweep the right arm up towards the ceiling, look at your right thumb. And then right arm overhead. Try to follow your thumb with your eyes. Keep the hips level, so both hips are strong. And then glide your right arm slowly across your face, follow your right thumb. You know where the blocks are, so touch your hips down thoughtfully. And then follow your right thumb to reach forward. Bring your arms out over your knees. Relax the weight of your head. The sentiment of, having expanded your view or your reach, And then coming back to center, what is the feeling tone inside? Okay, and then please take the blocks and set them aside. Lie on your right side as if you were a cat or dog sleeping. So lie on your right with your knees together. This is for a reclined spine twist. If you start on the right side with the knees together and the arms and hands together, and you're gazing at your thumbs, that is a good starting position. Now we're going to raise the left arm, follow your left thumb with your eyes, and open to your left. Please keep the left knee stable on the right knee. And travel with your left arm, your thumb and your eyes together. Now your arm's going to likely go farther than your head can go. So let's thoughtfully rotate the left shoulder down, close your eyes, and imagine where the thumb is going to. Can the eyes kind of follow that down towards the floor? Please keep your knees stacked so they're stable. With the eyes closed, keep gazing at your left thumb, which is probably a little farther toward the floor than your head has been able to go. And open your eyes and see if in fact your head has turned a little bit and you could see your thumb. And then follow your left thumb to come back up and bring it over towards the right thumb. And then let's do the other side. So lie on your left side, stack the two knees, stack your two arms, put your palms together so you can see your thumbs there. And then raise your right arm and follow your thumb as you inhale towards the ceiling and exhale, open towards the twist. And take the right arm at first, just as far as you can still keep seeing it. Then close your eyes, lower the right arm from your shoulder joint and the upper chest. And as it comes down, imagine your closed eyes. You are still turning your gaze to the right. Do not compromise on the right knee. It stays connected to the left knee. As you find your way here, even with the eyes closed, gaze consistently towards the right thumb. Gently open your eyes and see if you might be able to see a hint of your right thumb. Raise your arm until you can see the actual thumb and rise up to return your right hand to your left hand. And then come onto your back, please. Okay, reach for a blanket. We're going to come into Shavasana. So as you come into your Shavasana, think of it as a time where you're going to be integrating. You're going to be porous, open. And so as you rest in Shavasana, first dedicate the rest to your brain and body, that you feel like, oh, I could use a reset. Your systems want to recalibrate. They want to integrate the practice you just had. So give this dedication to your renewal. I'd like you to kind of stay awake to the process of the renewal so that when you feel like this
shift happens in the nervous system. We go from self-occupied, we return to the inner indwelling self, and then we become aware of our interdependent self, our sense of interconnection with everything. So observe the process of the reset that returns you to that expansive, interconnected self. Imagine that you're witnessing your endocrine system, your nervous system, circulation, the subtle body, your meridians, for example. Allow yourself to deeply rest in this way. At the moment, allow the recalibration. Allow your mind to be very relaxed. You're noticing all the systems of your body. It's bringing you back into renewal. And when there's that shift where you sense the interconnected self, rest right there with the mind and the body. Your mind to rest in that place, in the in-between. You're not in your operational self, in the deeper self that is interconnected. Your physical body might end at the skin. We tend to perceive it that way, but your essence is beyond. present. No daydreaming, not falling asleep, but staying present. In the inner self that is not limited to the skin of your body or this container, the physical body, interconnected with all that is, including the darknesses and the potentials, local and global. Getting a sense of this inner experience, start to make a memory inside. We call it smriti, that this will be remembered. You won't lose contact with it through the day. Our essential self, our interconnected nature. Connected to all that is and all that has been, all that will be. What is happening right now, even across the planet. Our bodies can sense that. And gently wiggle your toes, your fingers. Please bend one knee at a time. Roll to your side. Set up a seat for meditation, please. Your seat, and let's take the hands in the mudra for the first chakra, please. Word is LAM, starting at the note of the first chakra also. LAM, 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 LAM. Lum, 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 lum.
LAM, 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 LAM. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. And then rest your hands in your lap. For a sense of yourself, interconnected, not limited to the skin of the body as a kind of defining boundary, but moving beyond. Please raise your hands to your heart. Today I shared that the word Ksama means forbearance, resilience, and earth. And also that the Russian word for earth, mir, as well means peace. So when you hear the last three words in this chant, we're saying peace, peace, peace. We're also saying earth, earth, earth. Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. Mir, miru, mir. Mir, miru, mir. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. I close the recording so we can be together.